How to Start an Online Business. A step-by-step proven formula to make tons of money online. Written by Marshall Schneider. Narrated by David Sadson. Introduction. Do you know what I hate about online marketers sometimes? They beat around the bush, and they talk about all these different things you can do, overwhelming you with information, and then leaving you with nothing. I've listened to so many of them, and I understand that online marketing can be complicated, but you have to see the thread that holds it together. There is a right way to do it, and a wrong way to do it. Let me tell you some of the wrong ways. Learning everything about advertising before you even have a product. Sprinkling some links here and there, hoping that someone will click on it and give you money. Sending the same emails to everyone, regardless of what they've done in the past. Spending loads and loads on advertising on Facebook, or wasting your time spamming on Google Plus or in Facebook groups. Begging people to follow you on Instagram or Pinterest. Direct linking to your store and then not seeing any sales. Working your butt off to write all kinds of interesting blog posts and not knowing how to monetize them. The list can go on and on. And you know what? Online marketing can be tricky. If it was too easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be a millionaire. Then again, there are some people who became so clever with this that they did make a ton of money, including myself. 6 figures each year in less than 2 years' time. So, hey, what does it take? Well, that's what I'm going to explain to you in this audiobook. Keep listening. These chapters will blow your mind. By the way, I'm not trying to get you to sign in to my opt-in page and end up spending hundreds of dollars in my sales funnel. I'm just putting this book out there to help you. And to maybe make a few bucks on Amazon. But my main concern here is to make you see through all the fluff and lies you've been told by marketers who like to talk your ears off, but provide little value in return. I want you to succeed. This information could be sold for hundreds of dollars, but instead, I decided to put it in a book. I have my reasons for it, trust me. Anyway, here we go. Chapter 1. First things first. The first thing you must do is so crucial that it's annoying and mind-boggling that so many marketers skip over this step or treat it lightly. What do you think that is? Exactly. You have to find a niche. And yes, a lot of marketers skip over this step because they don't want to tell you what to do. They're so busy advertising, reading stats, and buying software that they completely forget about how important this is. Not only is niche selection important, but product selection is crucial as well. And you have to use the latter to choose the first. Why? Because if there is nothing to sell to that niche, then you won't make any money. Simple as that. In order to have a sustainable business, you need a product that's A, recurring, and/or B, very expensive. If you don't have this, you will not make a lot of money. Let's give you some examples. Example 1. Let's say you're good at keyword research on Amazon. You tell people about what to do, and they like it. After a while, it's time to ask for some money in return for your time. But as the hours add up, you begin to think of smarter ways to leverage your business. $50 per hour isn't bad, but it's not the best way to become rich. So what do? You create a video course. You put the price at $300 and watch the money roll in. But what if you put everything you know in this course? then it ends. And that's the point. I know some people who are doing this, but they don't tell everything they know in the course. They use the course to draw people into their pool of buyers, give them access to a secret Facebook group, and then charge about $4,000 to $6,000 to consult them on how to go forward. Now, that's worth it, isn't it? Especially if those consulting sessions only take you several hours. Example 2. What if you like to draw? The artist market is one particular niche you could possibly leverage, especially with tutorials and videos of how-to techniques that they can use to learn how to draw better. So what do? You can tutor each of them individually, or you create a $60 or $200 video course, depending on how good your content is. But what if it stops there? Couldn't you create a video course with membership and then promise to keep adding new videos to it every week? Sure, it would take some time, but then you could charge a recurring fee, like $17 per month or something. This starts to add up. Do the math. If 100 people sign up, you only have to put out 4 to 8 videos per month. But you get $1,700 from that every month. That's $20,400 per year for just putting out a couple of video tutorials each week. I saw a guy who had a flower club for $10 per month, and he got pretty rich because of it. Sounds too easy? Well, it's not. To get people to sign up for a membership, you have to advertise to them, which costs money, earn their trust, and offer them free stuff at first. Possible? Of course. But this is what marketers fail to tell you. It's not as easy as it seems, or everyone would do it. Example 3. Someone opens a Shopify store and does research in the cosmetics niche. He does some Facebook ads and makes some quick upfront sales to make his money back. But what about the product on the back end? Does he have to keep putting out ads? Well, that would be costly, wouldn't it? Think about this. What if he signs up for a multi-level marketing company and offers people, after they buy something from his store, to start selling too, so he can earn commissions? Hey, not bad, is it? Commissions are passive income. Multi-level marketing has made some people seriously rich, and others, who treat it as a hobby or side business, dead poor. But do you see how this is an example of a recurring income? Example 4. A nerd decides to learn coding. He loves it. After a while, he starts doing little jobs for people on Fiverr.com or Upwork.com and makes a decent income. But he keeps exchanging his time for money. Then, suddenly, he comes up with an idea. He discovers methods to automate coding and figures out some patterns to prevent people from wasting their time doing it all manually. He comes up with a plan to develop a software that automates certain actions and commands, and he invests the money to build it. He hires a team in the Philippines to run customer service for him, and voila! He has something he can charge a recurring fee for. Perhaps he charges $49 per month, or even $99 per month. In no time, he has 100 customers and makes up to $9,999 per month, which he uses to draw in more customers. When he reaches 1,000 customers, he makes 6 figures each month. Can you see how fast this adds up? The recurring model is the way to wealth. So here are some examples of good markets. Markets with products you can charge recurring fees for, like software, a membership or club, or a video course or mentorship program with added content each month or week. Software. Customers have to keep paying if they want to keep using it. Products that run out. People have to reorder them if they want to keep using them. Think of makeup, food, essential oils, supplements, liquids, etc. Multi-level marketing companies. By receiving commissions from what your downline does, you can climb up the ladder and receive recurring passive income. High-ticket items, like a $2,000 mentorship program, an expensive video course, or full disclosure to something people really value or make their money back with. Additional products. If they buy item 1, they will buy item 2. You always have to think of what else people in that niche will buy. Box subscriptions. This basically means you charge them a monthly fee and ship a collection of what they like each month. I've seen this with comic books, snacks, soaps, makeup, DVDs, and many other niches. This is what you have to do first. You can't just pick a niche based on your passion. You have to see the bigger picture. Have the end goal in mind first, and then reverse engineer or backtrack how you get them to buy that recurring or expensive product or service. And this is why so many people fail. They have no idea where to start. They don't do any research on which possibilities there are for upsales, downsales, recurring fees, high-ticket offers, competition, opportunities, etc. Before you pick anything, you need to do a lot of research and decrease the risk to get stuck at the point of, well, now what? Now what do I offer my customers? What shall I sell now? Shall I just go into a different niche as well? If you're asking yourself these questions, then you started out the wrong way. And a lot of people fail because this is one of the hardest parts. It's super hard to build a software that hasn't been done before, to see how big the demand is, to get people to pay a recurring fee and give them what they want. It's not that easy to pick something that has a really high price to it, because a lot of people are frugal and they won't spend a couple $1,000 on information just like that. People hate recurring fees and subscriptions. I know I do. And many people try to get what they want by searching on the internet if they might be able to get it for free or cheaper. So yes, this is why so many online businesses fail. They don't know where to start because they don't know what the end goal is. You shouldn't know where to start. You should know where to end. I gave you some examples. Things that run out, membership with continual added content, multi-level marketing, software, subscriptions, consulting, passive income streams from royalties, courses, or affiliate links. Those are all good things. So what is your ultimate goal? I'm sorry that, just like all the other marketers, I can't tell you what to do. I can name some niches, like how to train your puppy, beauty tips for women, tennis products, clothes and information products, or some other specific thing I've heard of. But you do have to do your own research. In the meantime, however, let me give you some tips anyway. 1. Don't pick a niche that's too broad, but don't pick one that's too narrow either. For example, weight loss is too broad. Everyone's doing that. Good luck. But weight loss with the paleo diet may be more doable because it's more specific. You could have raving fans in there who are convinced of the power of that diet and stick to it. However, if you pick weight loss paleo diet for moms, it may become a little harder. Of course, there are moms who follow that diet, but why would you exclude others? 2. If you pick a niche to do research on, try to think of what other niche they fall into. For example, people who are following a diet might be interested in eating healthy foods avoiding sugar, or signing up for fitness. If you're in the basketball niche, these guys may not only be interested in shoes, shirts, balls, brands, and information products about how to jump higher or shoot better, but they may also be interested in sports products that aren't necessarily related to basketball, like running gear, water bottles, or even vacations in areas where there are beautiful running paths. Fitness gear, weights, muscle building supplements, etc. Nobody falls into just one niche. Everything is related. 3. Think of the 3 needs everyone has: health, wealth, and relationships. Based on those things, you can see why weight loss programs, diets, money-making courses, and dating advice have been generating millions of dollars for decades. 4. Look at competition. Pick niches you can actually compete in. That doesn't always mean smaller. You either get a small piece of a big pie or a big piece of a small pie. Take your pick. 5. If you can, find something you're passionate about. But don't just go after your hobbies and dreams, thinking that it will somehow work out. There may not be enough demand for it. Perhaps the competition is too high, or perhaps there aren't enough products you can offer your future customers. Explore niches and see which one has the most potential. Then, if you have to pick between several, you might as well go for the one that interests you the most. 6. Figure out the profit margins. There's a huge difference between profit and revenue. I hear a lot of people brag about their Shopify revenue, for example, only to find out that they made a little over 30% on average in profits, once you deduct what they spent on ads, shipping, and production or drop shipping fees. Now, if you make $10,000 in a month, that still means you made $3,000 profit, so not bad, right? But still, know your numbers. Don't resell things with tiny profit margins, or at least find something that has higher profit margins on the back end, not necessarily on the front end or first sales. In the next chapter, we'll go over what you should do once you discovered a niche, a product to sell, your profit margins, etc. We'll tell you how to set it all up to get more out of those leads and shares, etc., that you receive from social media. Chapter 2. Setting it up. In this chapter, I'm going to tell you how to set things up so you don't have to spend as much money on advertising. So here are the basic principles. 1. Eventually, you need to set everything up. You need to write all the emails and know what to send when they click, open, or buy. More about that in the next chapter. 2. You will probably want a website. One of the smartest ways to show you're an authority is by having a domain name and a website. You will need a hosting service. There are lots of them out there, and you can search for it, but what worked for me is Bluehost. Go to bluehost.com if you want to see it. They have a chat window that, anytime you want, you can ask them questions, and they're fairly cheap. You can buy any domain name for about $12, and their hosting service is only about $3 per month or something. Peanuts, right? 3. What I recommend is that you send people to an options menu. Segment your target market into what they want most. One guy called it buckets. I don't care what you call it, but be sure to know that your customers might have different needs. For example, if they're into weight loss, are they into losing belly fat, just becoming thinner, or living an overall healthier life? Do they have diabetes? Do they want to work out? Or do they want to drink shakes and be on a special diet? The more you find out about these things, the better you'll be able to channel them into your email system and talk to them about their wants and needs. You could do this with a drop-down menu, with a survey, or a simple choice with 3 clickable buttons on your website. 4. Once you have it set up, you'll want to leverage the people who signed up through your opt-in page. My best advice, and I've seen it work already, is doing it with a software called UpViral. This has been designed by a Dutch guy who calls himself somewhat of a nerd, and he figured out a system to get more email addresses by doing a contest or giveaway to those who share email addresses with others. So here's how it works. People opt in through your page, and in the thank you page, they immediately get a unique link that, if someone else signs up through it, gives them points. Once they collect a certain number of points, they will get a reward, like a free report, a physical product, or something else. It works like magic, because when people get something shared from a friend, they trust it more and have more incentive to sign up. And so, there are marketers who paid for ads and got 1,000 email addresses, but they got an extra 7,000 to 8,000 email addresses just by having people share it through their link. It's pretty smart if you think about it. It's not the cheapest, $300 to $400 per year, but if you're into email marketing, you'll get so much back for it. I highly recommend it, and I bought it myself. I am actively using it at this moment. Check it out at upviral.com. Trust me, you do not want to go out there and advertise before everything is set up and automated. Let's talk about email marketing for a while. Chapter 3. Email Marketing. There are many email autoresponders out there who promise all kinds of things. The question to you is, how much are you willing to pay for the extra features? Let's go over some of them. But first, let's discuss why email marketing is so important. Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that no matter how flashy and new a lot of other methods, software, and platforms are, email marketing is still king. It's more personal, it gets seen and opened more often, and most rich marketers know the value of a great list. No, not every email is worth money. They have to voluntarily sign up because they're interested. So buying emails doesn't usually work because those people don't like you, trust you, or even know you. Email marketing allows you to keep selling to an audience or customer base without having to spend more money on ads. Once you have their email address, you kind of own the customer in a specific way. So email marketing rules, but there is a right way and a sloppy way to do it. Here is the right way. You track everything. You automate everything according to what they clicked, opened, and bought. You follow up a lot. And you try to serve their needs and interests. Here is the sloppy, lazy way. You just keep sending mass emails to everyone in your list, no matter what they did in the past or what they indicated they were interested in. Then you cross your fingers and hope to get sales. Do you see the difference? Oh, but there is more. There is another major mistake a lot of marketers make, besides the fact that some of their emails are boring. Yes, adding some humor makes a difference. I'm talking about the mistakes of selling to them once they're in your list. You see, you can't just start selling to them immediately. You have to warm them up to something. You have to make them curious to click. Most marketers recommend to send 4 to 5 emails with information, jokes, and valuable content. And then, after so many emails, you do a careful sales pitch. It has been proven that people need to see something 5 to 7 times before they buy it. So it's rare that they buy something immediately after the first email. Don't make this mistake. Be patient and go slow. Establish a relationship with your customers. Most people only buy from people they trust. Got it? So remember, don't do any hard selling at first, but warm them up and make sure you keep track of what they buy, click, and open so your follow-ups make sense. This will make it more personal. Here are some email autoresponders. I'll go over them a little bit so you can compare. There are other ones out there too, but these are the best known ones. MailChimp. What's nice about MailChimp is that the first 2,000 email addresses are free. So if you stay below that, you won't be paying a dime. But after that, it compares in pricing to the other autoresponders. One big downside to MailChimp is that they disfavor affiliate links. Not to Amazon, that's fine, but affiliate links to ClickBank products, for example, are a big no-no. This is one of the reasons why authors like this one, but online marketers don't. Aweber. I was personally not too crazy about this one. A lot of online and affiliate marketers use it, though. And a lot of people say they made good money with it. It starts out cheap, like $19 per month, but only for 500 email addresses. And once the number of subscribers goes up, the price is pretty comparable to the other ones. Sendinblue. This is the absolute cheapest I know of. It's completely free until you send a certain number of emails each month, not a certain number of email addresses. So, if you are a cheapskate and you don't want all the fancy features, start with this one. Even when you send a lot of emails after some great success, it's pretty cheap. I think the highest it goes is about $69 per month. GetResponse. Some millionaires swear by this one. Not bad, the features, but it's not my favorite from what I've seen. And it's pretty expensive. Okay, it starts out cheap, but if you're planning to do this long term, which you should, then check out the pricing, and you'll know it starts to add up. Market Hero. Although this one starts out expensive, $99 per month, but save 15% if you pay annually, it's also because it gets you up to 7,500 email addresses. So what a lot of people do is they start with one of the other ones, and then when they get up to that number of subscribers, they switch to Market Hero. I just dove into this one immediately because I got 30 days of bonus credits through a course I bought from the CEO of this one, and it comes with a 14 to 15-day free trial. Let me tell you why I am so excited about Market Hero. First of all, I've been following Alex Becker on YouTube for a while, and I think he's super smart. But that's not it. And yes, they also have a handy chat, like Aweber, to serve your needs almost immediately. But the software itself has 4 benefits others don't. 1. They boast an increase of 10 to 20% more open rates and a higher chance of seeing your email end up in the inbox, not the spam box. And they do this with certain codes and technical tricks to help you. That alone, can you see how important that is? 2. They calculate the lifetime value, or in other words, average spending per customer with a pixel. They also apply tags for each segment, so you can send an email, for example, to someone who bought product A but not B. So the follow-up system is way more targeted, which makes it more personal. This lifetime value gives you the opportunity to, for example, if your average revenue per email address is $5, buy leads at a cost lower than that and scale up massively. Basically, that's all Alex Becker said he did. Just buying all the ads and competing against others because he knew exactly how much the maximum was he could bid on ads. So on Facebook, YouTube, and in AdWords, he just outbid his competitors. And that's one of the reasons he is a millionaire. 3. You can create email funnels with a drag and drop system, which makes it simple, but you can make it as complicated and customer-focused as you want, automating delays, tracking pixels, follow-ups, and if opened, then this, if not, then this kind of thing. 4. It integrates with Facebook, Shopify, JVZoo, and some other platforms, which makes it really handy to track everything. Instead of sending out emails to everyone, you'll be able to write something to them based on what they've done in the past. So, yes, you can see I'm a little biased, but I have good reasons for it. I highly recommend Market Hero. Go to markethero.io to get it if you can afford it. It will make all the difference. Anyway, the point is that you highly focus on what your customers want, that you give them value before you sell to them, and that you separate them based on what they've opened, clicked, and bought. That way, you won't sound awkward when you talk to them. Now, if you use both Market Hero and UpViral, can you see how you're setting up your business to explode once you start driving traffic to your opt-in page? I can't even stress this enough. In the next few chapters, we'll look at how to drive traffic to your page so people end up in your email stream and you can turn curious signups into buyers. Chapter 4. Automation. There are free ways and paid ways to drive traffic. And I know we would all like to stick to the free ways, but sometimes those aren't good enough. However, completely skipping this might not be so wise. You could be leaving potential subscribers, and therefore money, on the table if you don't also do the free way to get people to click on your links. The best free way, of course, is social media. But that's such a broad term. It can mean many platforms, many different methods, and there are right and wrong ways to do it. Obviously, the wrong way is to just waste tons of time on spamming in groups or on your own pages and wondering why nobody is paying attention to you. The right way can be 2 options. 1. Interact a lot. So what you can do, and I'll give you some examples, is go to YouTube videos that are in your niche, comment on them, and have a link to your free page. I know some people will see it as spammy, but if you only do this for half an hour each day, it could bring potential leads to your opt-in page. Another way is to put controversial statements or questions in Facebook groups or on Google+. Answer people's questions, give them valuable information, and then put a link to your free book from your opt-in page. Some people have gone on Quora, so you could try that one too, and people might love you for answering their questions and then check out your link. It's that simple. 2. Do all the posting, but use tools to automate it so you don't end up wasting your time too much. There is software you pay a simply monthly fee for that gets you likes, followers, Or you can post something with one click on several different platforms. Here are two that I recommend using. Follow Adder. If you want to build a following on Instagram, which is huge nowadays, you can automate getting followers, likes, and comments, and just let it run on autopilot. Go to followadder, that's ADDER.com. It's only about $8 per month. Social Pilot. This is a software that only costs a few bucks each month too, and it connects to social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Some other ones too. It all depends on what you pick. The cool thing about this is that if you post something, you can just post it on Social Pilot, and then it automatically posts to all different platforms in one click. Awesome! Go to socialpilot.co. So no, don't waste your time just spamming every day. There are better ways. Here's one last tip about posting. Instead of posting every day, which takes time to log in, go to the website, etc., you just schedule your posts. It will be as if you posted every day, but in fact, you just schedule them all for the whole year in one day. So let's say you Photoshop a few hundred silly memes related to your niche. Then just post a few memes every day on all different platforms, and after every 4 or 5 memes, you put a post with your link to the free book. Some people have received thousands of sign-ups in their email list from this. That was it for this chapter. Let's look at the paid way to do this. Chapter 5. Ads. Ads are tricky. Nobody wants to lose money, so you will want to know the right strategies. But there isn't a golden formula I can give you that will work for every product, niche, or target market. It's all a bunch of hit and miss. And this is because people are people. They may just happen to come across your ad, experience an emotion, share it, and make it snowball. Or they may be in a bad mood, glance over it, and never click on anything. So you have to take risks. If you're not a risk taker, then don't start an online business. However, those who succeed are often the ones who reduce the risks by learning more, and therefore taking the right risks. If you're just going to throw money at the wall and hope it sticks, I can guarantee you that you'll be poor in no time. Now, I could create an entire 300-page book, or hours and hours of video tutorials on Facebook ads or any other platform, but I'm not going to do that. It might be overwhelming, and there are enough free videos on YouTube in which they explain exactly how they go about narrowing down a target market and go deeper and deeper into more focused, passionate groups that could be their ideal customer. What I'm going to do in this book is give you the 4 most important rules you need to understand when you place ads for your products. And trust me, I've seen some people who make quite a lot of money, but they still don't get it. They would probably earn more if they did this. Rule number 1. Don't direct link to your store or page. Why? Because people have to see something a few times before they buy it. If you're going to direct link to your page where they can add something to their cart and buy it, you'll probably waste a lot of money on people who click, visit your site, and then leave without spending any money. Instead, what you need to do is have an interesting video, an article, a blog, or something else that they can click on. A catchy headline with the top 3 reasons why this earring is the bomb, with an article or funny video, works a lot better. Now, you may be asking, but then how do I make any money? Well, first of all, you could have a link to your store underneath the YouTube video, or several links throughout the text in your blog. But there is more, which is rule number 2. Rule number 2, always retarget. I'm not saying that sending cold traffic to your page or store doesn't work at all. In fact, many people have had success with interests, keywords, likes, etc. It can be profitable, but it's not as easy as bringing warm traffic in. What do I mean by warm traffic? It's people who have already seen you. They're just more likely to buy your stuff because they recognize it. People are funny like that. So on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, make sure you retarget the people who already clicked on your ads, who subscribed to your channel, who liked your posts or videos, etc. One way people are leveraging Instagram nowadays is by paying an influencer for a shout-out and then retargeting the people who clicked on it with Facebook ads. If you simply do this and stay away from cold traffic as much as possible, only if you don't have any warm traffic left, then you'll bring your costs down and your revenues will go up. I guarantee it. Rule number 3, collect email addresses and sell to them. I talked about it before, but there are still so many people who don't do this. You have to get their email address, because if you don't, you'll always have to spend more money on ads to sell more. Each time you get a sale through an ad, the sale is over, and they won't come back to your store, most likely at least. But if you have their email address, you may just send them an email in the future saying, "Hey, look at these new discounts we have in our store," plus a link. Email marketing is like posting a free ad. Rule number 4, delete, copy, test, and tweak. This is an automatic given. You need to keep track of your ads and see what works. If the cost is adding up too much after a few days, always give it a few days and don't panic. Then delete it. If it works, copy it and post another ad that's similar. Test things out and don't be afraid to lose some dollars and quarters. Some Shopify experts have had histories of testing 10 different products before finding one winner. They would spend hundreds of dollars before they found the winner. But then, with that product, they suddenly made a few $1,000s in sales back. So that's the game. Testing, trying, and analyzing. That's how you get more experience, and that's how you'll come to find out what works. Oh, and one little tip. If you uncheck the Expand Interests box in Facebook ads, you won't lose as much money to people who don't care. It's kind of sneaky how Facebook puts this option in there to just spend your budget without having it go to the right audience. So always be sure to do that. Uncheck that stupid box. Now let's see in the next chapter how this leads to continuing sales. Chapter 6. Continuing Sales. Let's talk a little bit about upselling and downselling. Let's say you have an email address in your list and that person just doesn't buy anything. Should you offer them something more expensive? No. Offer them the same thing first as a basic follow-up, and then you downsell to them. What does this mean? Just that you say something like, "Hey, I saw that you weren't really interested in buying item A at this price, so I'm going to give you one last chance and give you 20% off. This offer will only be valid for 2 days, so act now." Sure, it's too bad you didn't get full price for it, but at least you'll get a profit, even with the deduction. Some people might say, but then don't they tell all their friends to wait and not buy it first? Experience has shown that this rarely happens, so don't worry about that. What about upsells? Well, upsells matter a lot too. But you can't jump from something cheap to something crazy expensive. And that's the mistake I've seen a lot of marketers make. I've bought information products in the past, and they're not transparent with it. They sell you a $37 product, and when you try to buy it, they try to upsell you a $97 product. Ugh, no! That jump is way too big. Some marketers even go as far as to say, but that's like asking if they want fries with their burger at McDonald's. And I hate it when they say that. Let me tell you why this is different. First, at McDonald's, you can see exactly how much each item is. So when they ask you if you want to upgrade something to a meal, you saw what that would cost before they asked it. Therefore, your expectations are being met. They're not hiding their upsells products behind a click or another web page. They tell you immediately, with their pricing overview, how much each item is. What some marketers do is they don't tell you how many upsells there are and how much they cost. And that is bordering on dishonesty. Because guess what? When I decide to buy a $37 product, I don't expect to spend another $97. So it kind of offends me when they do this. Every time they do that, I think, well, why couldn't you have said so in the beginning, that this is what I could add to my cart? Now I have to make another big decision. And this makes me feel a little deceived. This leads to my second reason why this argument is completely false. Second, McDonald's sells $1, $2, or even $5 items. It will not cost me an arm and a leg to add fries to my meal. It won't cost me 10% or 20% of my next mortgage payment. It's a few bucks. Marketers who sell these high-ticket products don't realize that just adding another $97 to your purchase isn't something you do every day. Most people don't. And even now, when I'm making a yearly six-figure income, I still think it's a lot of money. You can buy 200 cans of food, a tablet, 100 bottles of pop, 12 different t-shirts, 50 gallons of gas, 5 more Xbox video games, or so many other things with $97. It's not a quick decision, so I need to know in advance if that's coming up. Do you see what I mean? Upsells can work, or they can have a counter effect. My best bet is always to keep the difference between the first item or product they buy and the upsell small. Yes, you can increase it, but don't go too fast. So maybe an upsell of $67 is better than $96. Or maybe $10 per month for membership isn't so bad. I remember there was a software product that only cost $50. I had to think about it for a few hours because I was doing other things and I wasn't completely sure if I wanted it. When I looked at it again, it went to $17 per month, paid annually. So, no, I never bought it. It went too fast. Now, let's discuss 3 more things you need to do to sell. 1. Reverse the risk and lower the pain of losing money. How do you do this? Simple. By giving them a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. And I know what you're thinking. Then everyone will just buy the product and keep it and then ask for their money back, right? Well, no. A lot of people don't. If they see any value, they usually don't behave badly like that. So make your products good enough and then guarantee them there's a money-back policy. This makes people feel safer. The other method is increasing the price, crossing it down, and making it look like a discount. They'll think they will be saving money while spending it. You often see this in information products where they say, $297 value, but you get it for only $97. Discounting products has been around for ages, and it works everywhere, anytime. 2. Create scarcity. You can say that there are only 10 left, or that the price will go up after the first 10 sales. You can also point out that nobody else is giving you the same deal, or something like that. Selling is creating a little pressure because people are passive, and they only take initiative if they feel like they're missing out if they don't get it immediately. 3. Create time pressure. Some marketers have a clock ticking down on the website. Sometimes it's even an evergreen clock that doesn't really do anything when it gets to 0 and starts over. But when people see the clock, they already get a little nervous and feel as if they need to buy the product before the clock gets to 0. Funny how that works, huh? It's giving them the impression there's a time limit, when, in reality, there isn't. Other people simply give temporary deals, coupon codes that expire, etc. Fast food restaurants do this all the time. We got 100 of these dumb coupon codes in the mail every month, and they have an expiration date. The managers know that it draws us to their stores and that we might spend more money on full-priced items. Chapter 7. The Long-Term Approach. We've talked about different niches, and it's very important that you know the end before you set everything up. You need to ask yourself when you start a business, 1. Will my face be on it, or am I going to hide? 2. Am I willing to invest, and how much? 3. How much can or will I make back in the long run? 4. How will this business model look 5 or even 10 years from now? 5. What are smart investments? And 6. Am I willing to take a cut at first to make more profit later? And I want to talk a little bit about the last question, because that one really matters. Every big business knows that most of the money is made on the back end. And I've heard a lot of people mention those words, the back end. But what are some good examples? And why is this so important? Because this is how all businesses grow. Let me give you an example. Let's say Joe Doofus wants to start a business. He doesn't have a high budget, which is a bummer, so he makes sure that for every click he pays for, he gets an immediate sale. He makes sure he bids low enough that he doesn't lose any money on the front end, and that he's always profitable. Roger Undertaker, however, thinks about the long-term business. He bids higher and gets more followers. He collects email addresses, likes, and subscribers for his platforms. And he doesn't even focus on selling. He just gives away a lot of free stuff and even makes some losses. But after a few months or a year or two, he catches up with Joe and starts making a killing. What do you think happened? Well, let me tell you. Roger focused on the back end. He knew that in the beginning he would make a loss, but getting those email addresses was worth it because he knew he has an expensive or recurring product at the end of his sales funnel. He waited patiently until all the valuable emails, the information, and the free stuff had been sent to his customers. Those customers began to get attached to his brand and to him. They loved all the free stuff they got, and eventually, he built enough trust that they were willing to pay him a lot of money for his products and services. He played the long game, and that's what you have to do too. You might have heard of companies who were losing millions or even billions in the first few years, only to break even and dominate the entire market a few years later. And I'm telling you that this is what they did. They were okay with taking a loss at first because their plans had been laid out to make it all back and more in the end. They wanted lifetime customers, not quick cash. So think about that when you create your business plan. This may be scary at first, because nobody likes to lose money. But that's why you can minimize the risk by knowing exactly what you're doing. If you don't, the risks will be higher, and you might end up like one of those 1 million people in the USA who go bankrupt each year. Can you believe how high that number is? So here's my advice. The best way to lower your risk is to know more. Knowledge is power. It's reducing risks, and it's helping you to play the long game. This has been How to Start an Online Business, a step-by-step, proven formula to make tons of money online. Written by Marshall Schneider. Narrated by David Sadson. Copyright 2017 by Marshall Schneider. Production copyright 2018 by Marshall Schneider.